Creative Beast Studios makes some pretty impressive dinosaur figures, but there's some things I definitely like and dislike about this Dilophosaurus. Let's open it up, check it out, and of course do some toy photography. Okay, everyone who's a dinosaur fan, Jurassic Park person, I think you're gonna be proud of me for this right here. I think I'm gonna say this correctly. The Dilophosaurus. Right? Anyway, recently I went to Legion's Con and the Creative Beast Studio, right there, they had a nice, beautiful, big booth of all these absolutely beautiful dinosaurs and all kinds of cool stuff. Remember Venom? No, you weren't there, bro. Anyway, finally, I picked up a couple figures to do videos. I've been getting so many comments ever since I started doing dinosaurs just saying, please do Beasts of the Mesozoic, Creative Beast Studios, please do some of those. And I finally picked them up and I ended up grabbing this guy right here, the Dilophosaurus. And also, for the dinosaur experts and Jurassic Park fans, all like that, isn't the Dilophosaurus the same guy with the big winged little neck thing that comes out? Is this just a more, I'm assuming this is just a more accurate, actual version of this dinosaur that actually existed, not fictional. And I think that's so cool. But the reason this guy really caught my attention was the really cool colors on his face and stuff like that. That's so exciting to me. You can compare them to some Jurassic Park figures, some Hammond collection, compare it also to some Nanmu Studio stuff. And I just really love doing dinosaurs, so this is gonna be so cool with the Dilophosaurus. So if you are interested in picking up one of these figures for yourself, I'll have as many links in the description as I can find. While I was there, I picked up this figure too, which is a Smilodon. Okay, there's two reasons why I bought these figures. They said these were their two biggest sellers, which makes me think, oh cool, I should definitely pick those up if they're the most popular. Plus, this is a black cat. And if anyone watches this channel, you know this black cat right here. This is Venom. So I thought this was kind of like a saber-toothed tiger version of Venom. Poor Venom only has one tooth, so he's gonna be a little bit different than this guy. Maybe I'll break off one of his teeth or something. Anyway, if you're interested, I'm gonna be doing a video on this guy as well. So definitely make sure you're subscribed. I've got so much coming in general, as always, and I'll have as many links in the description to pick these guys up as you could possibly need. It's all down there in the description. So I was really just in awe when I was at Legion's Con at the Creative Beast Studio table. They had so much cool stuff and I really had to make some tough decisions. But if you are interested to seeing all the cool stuff they did have, I do have that whole video, and they even gave me a cool little tour of their entire table and everything they had. So it's definitely worth checking out, but man, it was so hard to make a decision. Those Stegosauruses were crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for tail time. That's what time, the tail time it is. And wow, this guy's got a lot of movement. Anyway, I'm getting into articulation too quickly. So we've got his tail and we've got his body. He's got a little orange dingleberry coming up in there, and I'm sure we can just attach it real quick. So let's give it a shot. What do you say? And there it is. It popped in. It might not have been but it did pop in, and that was pretty easy. The easier this is, the better. A quick one, but another episode of Tail Time Dinosaur Tales with the tails on the dinosaurs. Well, here he is, and this guy's really cool, and it's kind of different than what I was expecting, because my only real experience with dinosaur figures really are the Hammond collection, some of the other Mattel stuff, and then the Nanmu Studios. And this almost feels like kind of the combination of the two. It feels a little bit more like a Hammond collection, far more high quality than that, but it doesn't quite feel like the Nanmu Studio either. It's kind of somewhere in between, and I really like the way he moves around. It's very, dude, you just straight up kicked him over. What the heck, man? I think Venom might be mad because I'm not doing the black cat one right now. Anyway, here he is, and he does feel kind of like somewhere in between those two, and I like it very much. He's also really narrow. Just like, look how thin just the overall body is. It's just very narrow, every part of it. I don't know anything about dinosaurs, especially not the, crap, I already forgot this dude's name. Oh my gosh. The Dilophosaurus. I don't know anything about him. I just think the action figure looked cool. So he's really very He's really cool. He's fun to mess around with. I am, however, struggling a little bit to get him to stand up. There we go. I am sometimes having a little bit of trouble keeping him standing, but I think that's more of just me. I'm still not very good with dinosaurs. After a little bit of fiddling, I can get it to work just fine. And the details on this guy are really quite beautiful, especially on the face. Like, most of his body is pretty simple, you know, but his face, like, look at how beautiful that looks. The blue and the orange is so striking. And if you look on the inside of his mouth, it's all blue too. Like, he's got a blue mouth. Can you tell, Venom? What's up with the blue mouth? Reminds me of, like, is it Ed, or Eddie that has the blue tongue? They all have, like, different color tongues. So, he comes with a few accessories, of course. Not a ton, but mostly just feet. We've got a lot of different feet here. We've got just two that are more closed around the toes. So these toes are more opened up a little bit, and then the ones are closed. And then we've also got some more bent-toed ones, which I'm assuming this will work better for if you have one of them in the... I'm assuming this will work better if you have like one in the back that's got a bent toe. So it'll look like it's walking more, and I think that's kind of neat. Other than that, that's really the best. I don't think you would use both of these bent ones at the same time. And he comes with a stand that comes all apart, which I have not put together yet. Maybe I'll do that, hang on. So this is the stand, and it's actually very, very unique. I've never seen a stand like this. I don't know if I really love it, to be honest. When you're adjusting it, you pop this part off, and you can kind of like choose where you'd like it to be on this little inclined scale thing, which is kind of cool. It's all right. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It does work, but the thing I like the most is that it comes with this little sticky, you know, sticky kind of material to put on the bottom. It's not sticky, but it gives some grip. So when you have it on the table, it doesn't slide away, which is pretty cool because I'm often putting sticky tack on my table to keep it from falling away, which is kind of neat. And then of course it comes with a couple other different heads for it to keep it however you want to use the stand. So it's very unique, and I kind of admire that. I'm not sure if I just love it in general. So it's pretty cool. And he comes with a little card. I think it's cool when action figures come with little, I don't know, trading cards or something. I feel like I never really use them, but I'm kind of thinking I might. Or just, I don't know, hang on to them. Like, it's kind of cool. So this dude has got a pretty decent amount of articulation. I kind of like it. So as far as the face is concerned, you got a whole lot of movement all the way. Like, look, you got a lot going on there. And you can go up pretty high, and you can go down pretty good too. So I think the articulation as far as this is concerned, neck and stuff, is better than a lot of the other ones, the Nanmu stuff like that. Hands and arms, not a ton. I mean, his arms are pretty wimpy in general, so it's not really, I don't know what else you would really expect. His legs, plenty of movement there. They have this kind of just big like indentation for the legs here, so you can fit a lot of that in there. And then the waist is pretty movable too. Like, look at that. That's a lot of movement there. You can get a lot of movement. Like, you can do like almost a full circle. Like, look at that. That's like a U. I still am kind of struggling to get him to stand sometimes, just because I think it's a combination of me sucking, but the ankle joints I think are just a little bit loose too. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why he's falling over a lot. So there we go. Hey, there he is. But of course his mouth is articulated. It looks really good when it's closed, and it looks really great when it's open too. Really good looking. The tail is not a wire, but it's got like a joint here, here, and here. So you can get a lot of movement out of that though. So I think that's actually kind of impressive for how much you're actually able to do with him. So he's gonna be a little bit interesting to measure. So I'm just gonna do a couple things. So this is like the usual kind of pose that I can get. At this pose, he's what, like 3.5 inches tall? No! 3.5 inches or so. Then if he's looking all the way up like this, he's just under 8 inches, Venom. Just under 8 inches. And then, if he's just, you're doing totally straight, 15, 16 and a half or so? He's about 15 inches. But anyway, this right here is the Hammond Collection Velociraptor. And this is the Nanmu Studio Velociraptor. So scaling is a little bit different. They all look pretty good together, I'm not gonna lie. The colors actually look quite nice. There's definitely gonna be a little bit of bias going on here because I just like Jurassic Park, the movie. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, I can't even get this freaking thing to stand. That's fine. I like Jurassic Park the movie, so there's gonna be a little bit of bias going on because I like the Velociraptor. I don't really have any real connection with this dinosaur, besides the fact that he's cool. He's blue, you know, I like that. This is 1/18th scale, the Creative Beast Studio, and so is the Velociraptor from Hammond Collection, so they are supposed to be scaling together. Then this right here is the Nanmu Studio's Indoraptor. So I'm only really comparing the smaller dinosaurs I have with him, and it's kind of working out. So he looks good. This is definitely a different scale. I did a really fun photo with him in a recent video last week, but they look good together too though. They kind of do. What are we gonna give this figure right here? A W or an L? This is the Creative Beast Studio. Crap, I cannot ever remember his stinking name. Dilophosaurus? Dilophosaurus? Dilophosaurus, yes. This is the Dilophosaurus. Anyway, are we gonna give him a W or an L? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little frustrated towards the end of the video trying to get him to stand. The High Venom, the feet that he came with, these joints here were just really loose. These joints would just give in and it wouldn't hold him up. Like I said, I'm not an expert with posing dinosaurs, so I'm sure there's a little bit there. But like I also said, I didn't have this much trouble posing the other dinosaurs, like Indoraptor, the Nanmu Studios, the Hammond Collection. So that was a little frustrating. Maybe just this guy specifically has a weird design, which also makes it weird for me to pose. I don't really love the stand, but that's not a huge deal. So everything else looks beautiful though. I love how detailed this guy is. I love all the different movement he has. I think he's a really freaking cool dinosaur, and it's a really freaking cool figure. So I'm gonna give him a W. I was thinking about an M, not gonna lie, but it's not an M. It's not, it definitely deserves a W. For me, it's just a soft W because I was getting a little frustrated. Also, this is my first figure of theirs too, so I don't want to, when I do the saber-tooth tiger video next week, then we'll see how I feel about that one. But it's still a W. Let me know what you think. Is it a me problem? Is it just a problem? Does it deserve a W? L? Let me know what you think. So it's getting a little cold outside, sometimes it's snowing, but I do still want to take him out to People's Island and just take a fun photo and really accentuate the beautiful colors that he has. And I think that'll be really fun, so let's go take a shot. All right, here we are. I'm at People's Island, as I always am. This is People's Island State Park in Cohoes, New York. It's really close to my house, and look how beautiful this place is. And it's even beautiful when it's like almost the winter time. It looks so great. And I'm really just gonna use that, get this great background, and get a cool looking dinosaur looking environment, hopefully. So this is what I've got going on. He's just kind of sitting there. The Dilophosaurus is just kind of chilling. And it's kind of interesting because the weird length and shape of this figure isn't really complementing the way I like to shoot. Like, I like to shoot long ways photos. I feel like he works better as a wide photo, but we're still gonna go for it. And the sun is back there, and so as usual, I've got my light reflector, and just look at that light bouncing off. So I'm just gonna do a simple shot. Hopefully some of these nice little tall grass kind of gets in there, and it looks kind of good. That's all I'm really going for. So I've got 4,000 for my shutter speed, which is pretty fast, but it's very bright out here, and if I don't do that, it's gonna be too bright, you know? And I've got f2.5 for my aperture. I just like that. I want the little bits of grass in the foreground to get all blurred out, and I think that'll look really, really fun. And my ISO is at 400 as always. So I'm not gonna do anything crazy besides just bounce some light over and take a photo. It's gonna be very, very simple. And the only real edits I'll probably do is get rid of that little stand there, but I'll still see you in the post-photo breakdown. right, it's post-photo breakdown time. What do you say we take a look at our boy, the Dilophosaurus? So this is the final product, and it looks okay to me. To be honest, I'm not really loving it. I think the background and the scenery and the grass is actually pretty great. Like I like that very much. But I don't know, something about the dinosaur, he just looks kind of stale. And I think I'm just kind of feeling uninspired maybe by the dinosaur itself. Maybe it's the fact that I'm just a slave to the corporate IP and I wish it was like a cool T-Rex from Jurassic Park and not this different dino. I don't know what it is. Maybe not. Maybe there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe I don't know. It's just weird. It's something about it that's not really grabbing me right now. But I mean, I still had a great time shooting it. I always have fun shooting dinosaurs out in the wild like this, that's for sure. So this is actually the cropped version of it. The full version is just, I don't think it looks as good because it's just got a whole lot more grass there. So I think the cropped version looks much better. This is actually the original photo. So I did a lot to it. I rotated it a little bit and I, made sure the sky was nice and blue and changed the colors and brightened things up, which is cool. And I think that's fun. But in the end, it's just it's not going to go down as one of my favorite photos. That's all. But let me know what you think. Give me some critiques as always, and let's just run the end of the video. So yeah, there's definitely some things I like and dislike about this figure, but it honestly just kind of makes me more excited to see what the other Creative Beast Studios figures are like. It really just makes me excited. But if you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. This photo, as always, will be posted up onto Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And if you want to follow my work on any of those platforms, it's all linked in the video description below, as always. And thank you so much for watching and getting this far into the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.